For all of my dudes that's looking for a game like Tarkov or Dayz, we have it right here. It will fill all of your needs. There's some free to play ones and there's some good ones, and some of the games you probably also heard of, but I promise you there's some games in here that you never knew existed. We're gonna start the video off with Stalker Anomaly, one of the best standalone mods you can get for Stalker. Now this makes it unique because players can choose from a variety of ways to play this game. You can play the story mode with 4 chapters of interesting quests, or you can play the sandbox mode if you prefer to make up your own story, or the combat intense warfare mode, where factions fight for influence and control over different areas of the zone. Yeah, Stalker Anomaly is like Dayz and Tarkov. You go around, you kill and you loot. The main things that make Dayz and the main things that make Tarkov. Another thing about Stalker Anomaly is that this mod is very customizable. You can mod a mod and make it better or to your liking. You can customize the graphics or you can add some more equipment into the game. Next up on the list is Deadside. Deadside is a PvP and a PvE survival shooter. Now Deadside, this plays like a blend of an extraction shooter and a persistent world survival game. And what I mean by that is you get to build bases, you also get to loot and extract to safe zones. You get your loot from killing other players and also completing missions. And all of that is tied together by hardcore tactical gunplay. You know, that pinch of realism. And just so you know, in Deadside, it doesn't take you 5 years and 6 months to get a gun. In this one, you get guns fast, because this is hardcore gameplay. Next up on the list is probably the closest way you can get to Dayz. The only downside is this is a low poly game. But if you look past the graphics and the low polyness of this game, you can really see the similarities between Unturned and Dayz. Now Unturned puts you in the boots of a survivor in a zombie infested ruins of society. And you get to play this with your friends, and it is also entirely free to play. You can forage for fruits and vegetables in the game, you can hunt animals, you can fish for food and also garbage, you can also plant crops, you can also arrest people, and you have to fight with every kind of weapon under the sun. Swords, machine guns, snipers, missiles, landmines, you name it, this game has it. You can't have a survival video without the game called Rust. Rust is some people's favorite game to play with thousands of hours on it. The only aim in Rust is to survive. Everything wants you to die. The island's wildlife and other inhabitants, the environment, other survivors, do whatever it takes to just survive. Now Rust is also in its 9th year right now, and it had over 350 content updates, with them guaranteeing you a patch every month. They also promise regular balance fixes and improvement to AI and graphical updates, to adding new contents like new maps, musical instruments, trains and drones, as well as regular seasons and events. A game that you have probably heard millions of times before, 7 Days to Die. And with good reason, this game has sold over 16 million copies. 7 Days to Die has defined the survival genre. The game offers great crafting and world building content. It's also set in a brutal, unforgiving post-apocalyptic world overrun by the undead. 7 Days to Die is an open world game that is a unique combination of a first-person shooter, survival horror, tower defense and a role-playing game. It also offers combat, crafting, looting, mining, exploration and character growth, in a way that has seen a rapturous response from fans worldwide. So if I was you, I'd give this game a try as soon as possible, because this is really a good survival game to play. The good old Project Zomboid. You know this game had to be on the list. Project Zomboid is an open world, isometric video game developed by the British and Canadian independent developers, the Indie Store. The whole goal of this game is for you, the player, to aim to survive for as long as possible in this post-apocalyptic and zombie-ridden area around the city of Louisville. You loot, you build, you craft, you fight and farm and fish in the struggle to survive. A hardcore RPG skill set, a fast map, a massively customizable sandbox, and you also get to choose what your character is good at and bad at. This game is definitely the definition of hardcore survival games, because I've played this for like 5, 10, 20 minutes, right? And I couldn't even get past the sandbox mode that is supposed to be the easy one. If you're looking for a challenge, this is the game for you, trust me. Next up on the list is a game that I only discovered recently and it looks amazing. It's called Miscreated. This is an online multiplayer hardcore survival game set in a post-apocalyptic open world. Now after humanity was brought to its knees and the remaining survivors cling to what's remaining in this unforgiving world, which is ravaged by mutant plagues, which was miscreated in the fallout. Now you get to fight against horrific mutants, hostile animals, other desperate survivals, and even the elements of the world. Now as amazing that this game is sounding right now, the only problem it has is it's unfortunately abandoned. But you can still buy it and you can still play it on private service, which is better than the service that was brought by the developers. So the only thing that you are missing out on are regular updates and regular patches. Nonetheless, if you have the money, give the game a try and let me know how it was. Now next up on the list is Mist Survival. Now keep in mind, I hear a lot of bad comments about this game. You have to keep in mind that this is being developed by 1 or 2 single developers. And a lot of those bad comments comes from years and even months ago with previous versions of this game. If you play this game now, the people aren't floating anymore. All of those bugs has been fixed. Mist Survival is a single player game. It's a survival stealth sandbox game. Players will experience the apocalypse simulation in the form of a virus pandemic. The players will have to deal with it to survive through the difficulties such as finding shelter and food, threats from the environment and climate, as well as wild animals, and there's also bandits you should fight through. And the developers of this game really are hard at work to make sure that this game is getting playable. So if you want to support them, go ahead and buy the game. Survive the Nights is also a game that came out back in the day, in the year of 2017. Now this is also a unique game. Survive the Nights is a unique FPS survival game focusing on teamwork, fortification, creativity and strategy. Now you get to secure a structure or you get to free roam. The choice stays yours. Gameplay focuses on realistic survival, post-zombie infestation, prepare during the day for nightfall, because at night you might die. Now you also have to fight against other players. But not just that, this game still gets updated even though it came back in 2017. So give it a try and let me know what you guys think of this game. Last but definitely not least is a game called The Long Dark. Now The Long Dark is a thoughtful exploration survival experience that challenges solo players to think for themselves as they explore an expensive frozen wilderness in the aftermath of a geometrical disaster. One of the most uniquest survival games that I have ever seen in my entire life. Now this is not probably close to Dayz or to Tarkov, but it has some elements of survival just like it has in Dayz. Now the reason why I say this is so unique is because there are no zombies. And it's only you, the cold and all of the threats of Mother Nature that can murder you. This game has a lot of positive reviews on Steam as we talk right now, a lot of players. But let me know what you guys think about this. That's the top 10 games like Dayz and Tarkov that you can play right now. I know I listed a lot of survival games, but a lot of them has realistic gunplay in it as well. There's a lot of free games in this list and a lot of games that I'm pretty sure that you never knew existed. But let me know what you guys think about all of these games, and if you guys have any better games, comment down below and I'll make a part 2 of it. And please remember to like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next video as always.